Okay, guys, we're back to the investigation for Chapter 4 of Rain Code, and I think we must be getting close to the Mystery Labyrinth. I think the last thing we've got to do now is get to the doctor's lab to get the security log results, because I think that's got to be able to shed some light on when the culprit got in. But, yeah, we're running out of time now, so we don't have Fubuki with us. We've just got to be able to walk around the corridors and make sure the peacekeepers don't catch us, so... Oh, God. Oh, there's a peacekeeper there. There's peacekeepers up ahead. Oh, God. Peacekeepers down that hall. Are there really peacekeepers there?
Master! They'll spot you if you go that way!
Okay. I wasn't sure. Just keep your bloody pants on. God. Oh, wait. I didn't realize. I forgot. There was a corridor here. Quiet. Now. I think there is one there, though, right? No. There's one facing that way. Shit, yeah. Run. Okay. Right, that's good. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than that. Okay, into the lab. Let's go. Shitagabi's secret. I think the slaughter artist.
I managed to get here without being seen, but there should be more peacekeepers up ahead. I better keep moving and stay out of sight.
Right.
Wait, what if some toxic gas is still lingering around? Nah, just kidding.
Oh, God. You mentioned toxic gas and all I wanted to do was cough. Right. Well, there should be peacekeepers in here. Right? Oh, yeah, there are.
I knew it. There are still some peacekeepers. But once I'm at the computer, I'll be in their blind spot.
How are you going to get past them?
Throw something towards the shower.
I just need to reach the computer without being seen.
They can't see us anyway. I mean, look, they've got freaking masks on which are obscuring their peripheral vision, so it's not like they're going to be able to get us.
This mission is impossible. Master, you gotta make sure you don't get clumsy.
There's no time. We need to hurry up and check the doc.
Okay.
All
good.
that's left is to check the computer.
So get into the blind spot already, and don't... You idiot!
Who's there?
Oh no!
You moron!
Jeez, I told you not to get clumsy!
You're that terrorist detective. How did you get here? I'll catch you and report to Director Yomi.
Master, you'll have to take a chance in the Mystery Labyrinth!
Wait, I didn't check the computer yet! I have to do that before going to the Mystery Labyrinth!
Then what are you gonna do?
Vivia will come and help us, right?
What do I do?
You idiot. You should have been looking at the floor! Like, I was keeping an eye on that too. I was like, alright, now stay out of the way of all that scattered everywhere. Vivia will help us, right?
Just come quietly. Resistance is futile. What's the
Vivia!
Sheesh. What a pain.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to die someday.
That could have been so easily avoided.
Vivia, you came to help me?
I always like to keep this syringe in my pocket.
You know, just so I can think about using it. Maybe that's why he's so weirded out. Like, I hope he's not using it to take something.
He walks around with a syringe. He's like a walking cop magnet.
I know I should leave you alone, but curiosity got the best of me. You are like death itself.
You said that before, but I'm not the death detective.
No matter. I will be a witness to the end. Once you obtain the truth, I'll see if you choose to scream or fall silent.
I don't get what you mean, but you really saved me. And now I can check the doctor's computer. Vivia really helped us out there. Let's wrap up
Honestly,
this investigation now.
You shouldn't have had to, though, Yuma. You should have had your eyes on the floor, you moron. God. So stupid.
It's not locked. Oh, thank goodness.
No one could enter this room, so he didn't need to set a password.
Time to check it out. Let's see. Security log, reference folder 1, folder 2, folder 3.
So if my guess is correct, the security log should be perfectly fine.
Well, what are you looking at? And what did you find out?
Well, basically, when the security system is turned on or off, it automatically records the date and time in the log. So if someone cut the security and entered this room without permission, it would be recorded in the log.
Huh. I don't really get it. I'm not into modern machines and stuff.
Huh? What's going on here?
What's wrong?
The only instance of the security being switched off was an hour ago. It hasn't been turned back on since.
That would have been when we
So,
turned it off.
That means this must have been when I used Amapal to disable the security.
Right. So what?
Well, the last time security was cut was 90 days ago.
90 days?
Which means that security was up for at least 90 days before I disarmed it. There wasn't a single moment that security was cut during that time.
Yeah, I knew it. I think they must have come in with Armor Pal and killed him then. Like, I think. Or this whole thing is a setup and Wesker's actually the one that stabs Chief Yarko.
This old man was cooped up in here for 90 days? He's a bona fide shut-in!
That's not the problem here. There's no record of anyone coming in and out of this room. There should be a log of the hitman entering before we did. Since there isn't, the doctor couldn't have been murdered here. It's the perfect, impossible crime.
So by logic, then, I think... Okay, I think whoever the killer was, they got in when we came in on Armor Pal. And then when Armor Pal fell over is when they stepped off. But then they already saw the doctor dead. So this is the part I don't get.
From the looks of it, it appears we have strayed further from the truth. The files are formatted to prevent editing. There doesn't appear to be signs that the log was rewritten.
We've checked the data, but it's just made the crime even more impossible.
And thus, the mystery deepens. Mysterious.
It's not over yet. There could be more secret data. Halara even mentioned it. His emails haven't been deleted. He's been communicating a lot with the same person. One message is fairly recent, too.
Oh, I feel like I should take a photo of this. Because that looks important. Okay. From blah 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 to Doctor. Doctor, we have trouble. Someone has discovered our deal. You should go into hiding for the time being. From, okay, another one. From Doctor to blah 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 blah. It appears it's time to call it quits. We've profited enough from this already. It's too dangerous to leak research and confidential information any longer. I shall fully withdraw from here. With this money, I will fund my new research. Oh, so that was from Dr. Wesker 2 thing. The room is true. Hang on a minute, take a photo of that. Are the rumors true? You intend to leave Kanai Ward? Doctor, don't tell me you're plotting to take the research and run. I hope you already know this, but you have nowhere to go. This is to Doctor. What's the matter, Doctor? Sorry, my eye is itchy. Are you ignoring me? I will not permit any betrayal. I've told you before, but you have nowhere to run. Prepare yourself.
This is...
Yeah, I think that's it, right? Oh, God, too many cables. Okay, there we go.
Quite a suspicious exchange. I'm sure Doctor refers to Dr. Huesca, but who is the anonymous person?
The address is just random characters jumbled together. It'd be hard to figure out who the person is just from this.
The doctor spoke to a mysterious person about leaking research and confidential information.
Speaking of which, Makoto mentioned something similar.
Was he talking to Makoto?
Well, this is just a rumor, but someone in Amaterasu Corporation is working behind the scenes with Dr. Huesca. I don't know what they're plotting, but if this rumor is true, they must be dealt with eventually.
So his suspicions were right. Searching through the backlog of the emails, this appears to have been going on for over 5 years. But it seems like the relationship soured about 6 months ago. I guess the doctor wanted to cut ties.
So the doctor plotted to leave Kanai Ward, and this anonymous tried to stop him.
It's more like he directly threatened him, if you ask me.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, the email records of Dr. Huesca and Anonymous. There was regular communication between them until just recently. The doctor's email records.
Could Anonymous be the one who hired the hitman?
Or it could be the hitman.
Doctor betrayed him, so he sought to kill the doctor. Makes sense.
The doctor didn't shut himself in here just for research. He did it to protect himself.
He felt Anonymous posed a threat, so he barricaded himself in a lab with impenetrable security. That also makes sense.
But he sure didn't act like someone living with a death threat, right?
Are you sure? I mean, he seemed pretty, on edge all the time.
Either he was that confident in his security, or it was just a facade.
Yeah.
Regardless, this Anonymous is very suspicious. If only we could find out who this is.
Even if that person hired the hitman, we still don't know how he got inside.
True, that is the biggest puzzle here. How did the culprit get through such perfect security and murder the doctor? If we don't figure that out, the case can't be solved and our innocence can't be proven.
Huh?
Oh, here comes Yomi.
What are you doing here?
You again?
I'm the Batman.
What are you, anyway? Were you born just to get in my way?
Hey Yomi, I really hope we get to see someone just beat the ever-living out of you, in this game at some point, and just, wipe that bloody smug look off your face.
Or was this all fated from the very beginning? No. Fate is just an excuse for defeatists. Alright, fine. You're not just some shit in my path. You're an obstacle in the way of my ideals. A piece of trash. Trash must be dealt with properly before you rot and start to stink! What's your name?
Yuma Coco Head.
I see. I'll make a path through Kanai Ward's sewers with your name on it. Of course, it'll be named after your bones once they're dumped there. Hey! Capture these criminals! I'll execute them on the spot!
Shinigami, can you do it?
Of course, Master!
Yes, it's finally time.
We're finally acting like partners!
Just do it!
And of course, it's all thanks to my patient training!
To the Mystery Labyrinth!
Yes, to the labyrinth!
Mystery Labyrinth!
I want to see what Vivia's reaction is going to be to Shinigami. I mean, it kind of feels like it'll be indifferent, but Yeah, I do wonder. Okay, so I finally get to look at all the clues again, because I want to go through everything. What do you think of that, Vivia? Yeah. God, I feel like this one's going to be a really hard one. Like, I feel like the last case, once we sort of figured out, like, because I knew I was close, but once I sort of realized why the gun chamber was different, I figured who it was right away.
I see. So this is your true power.
Yeah.
Yuma, I knew you were dangerous.
No matter what you say, it's already way too late.
Yeah, I was just going to say, kick him in.
I want to die someday.
Down the rabbit hole we go.
I thought he was going to kill me there. All right, finally. We can look at all these clues and try and piece it together. Yes, I do want to save current progress. Thank you. Okay, that's all the Desahiko ones. I wonder if this Mystery Labyrinth will be a short one like the last one was, because I feel like Chapter 3 went by really quickly. We didn't have, too many to work out, but Vivia's garments, pets, robot research. One thing did occur to me, and I thought, I wonder if Vivia is somehow involved in this case. Like, in terms of he was directly involved with it, but I don't know. I thought if that were the case, then the gumshoe Gabs, like, yeah, because we still got one more for him. All right. Up we get. Now we got to do the whole explanation to Vivia. So what do you think, Vivia?
Again with the falling. Why can't it ever be a gentle landing? Oh, Vivia. This is called the Mystery Labyrinth.
So, this place is a physical manifestation of mysteries from the case?
You can tell? Oh, well, anyway, this actually isn't my forte. It's...
Due to the power of death. Her, right?
Huh?
So you really could see me this whole time.
Yeah, I was just going to say...
He could?
It's due to my spiritual affinity. Ever since I was young, I've been able to see otherworldly things. My forte was gained through training that innate talent. Though, I wasn't able to see her clearly like this before. I could tell you were talking to some haze following you around, but that was it. Until one day, I used my spectral projection at the agency and saw that death got clear as crystal. After that, I did some research. I discovered that the WDO Underground Book Vault held something called the Book of Death.
Yeah.
And also, that someone had taken it.
Did I take it? Before I lost my memories?
I don't know. Since you're a rookie, I doubt you'd have access to the book vault.
No, we took it from number 1, I think.
Only a handful of people have WDO clearance for that.
Just a handful?
Just
Anyway, you've been using this ability to solve the other cases up till now, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, this is also related to the mysterious deaths of all those culprits?
Ooh, he doesn't look happy.
My guess is, clearing a labyrinth, a materialization of a mystery, causes its true perpetrator to die. If that's the case, You've killed a lot of people with your own hands, Yuma.
Well, I didn't really kill anyone. It's just what happens when...
Nope. I may be the one reaping their souls, but the blood is still on your hands.
You know, I know that the way they're sort of saying it is very sort of confrontational and very like, you murdered all those people. Like, and I know it's not that way for Yuma, but like, I know he doesn't see it that way or want to do this, but you know, at the same time, I do feel like he has to take his part of the responsibility here.
What? Hey!
No point in pretending to be a goody two-shoes. You're risking your life to solve these mysteries.
I see. So you're determined to do this, huh? Sorry, but I don't think I have that kind of conviction myself. So, I think I'll take a nap here while you go and risk your life.
You can sleep if you want, but you won't be able to get out.
Is that so?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you can't just wait here.
If you're not with Master when and if he solves the labyrinth, this place will collapse around you. Well, if you don't have any regrets in the real world, you're free to die here.
Regrets? I don't have any of those, but there are still some things I've left unfinished. Especially after you exposed the mystery of this case.
Oh, Vivia, what are you up to in this case? Like...
What do you mean by that?
I'll be perfectly clear. I'm just going to tag along. I'll leave the heavy lifting to you.
I don't care what you do, just don't get in our way. Well, Master, let's do the usual.
Yeah, okay.
Master, are you ready to give your life for the truth?
I am.
This never gets old. Something just occurred to me because I could be wrong about this, but the girl in that photo that we found, I noticed that I think she's got the same eyes, I think, as Vivia. So maybe he had a sister or something that was working here, or somebody that he knew. Because I assumed that the person in the photo was Chief Yako, but maybe it was Vivia.
Is that sword for cutting through mysteries? This place must be pretty dangerous.
Oh, I just realized too, we get to see Yobi as a mystery phantom finally.
Here, Master, here's your solution key.
Is that key something like a clue for the case? Wow. Looks like you're ready to go.
Could you be more of a doubter? Whatever, I'm gonna ignore you.
Well, Vivia's about as... Yeah, this is about what I expected
So
from him.
let's go and unveil this mystery labyrinth. Let's hunt down this culprit who preys on the truth.
We have to walk? This is unbearable.
Give him a piggyback ride, Yuma.
Come on, you're bumming me out here.
I thought you were going to ignore him.
Yeah, what does Shinigami care if Vivia dies in here or not? Alright. Okay, before they start talking, let's have a look at these solution keys. Okay, first one. Airlock decontamination device. This device exists to prevent leakage from the toxic gas chamber. The lid is barred but has a hinge to make it easy to open and close. Toxic gas properties. The toxic gas is bacterial, so regular gas masks are ineffective against it. Even if you hold your breath, it can be absorbed through the skin, and there are no effective treatments for it in existence. Okay, so that's the first thing. Like, if they did come in on Armor Pal, they must have been covered up somehow to prevent the toxic gas from getting on them. Panel chamber. The only thing is, though, we didn't find anything like that. The door of the panel chamber is designed to open slowly. Since Armor Pal's arm had been retracted first, it took time to enter the room even after the door opened. Armor Pal fell over rather suddenly when we were about to enter. There were no steps or obstacles, so it is presumed to have been knocked down by the fleeing culprit. High voltage in panel chamber. There are 9 panels in a 3x3 configuration. You must step on them in a special order to proceed. Stepping on them in the wrong order unleashes a high voltage current. Panel chamber decontamination device. The device exists to prevent leakage from the toxic gas chamber. Unlike the decontamination device in the airlock chamber, the cover of the one in the panel chamber cannot open or close. Stab wounds. Yeah, that's right, he had a few stab wounds on him. There are 3 stab wounds on Dr. Wesker's back. One of them still had the knife stuck in it. With no other injuries, this appears to be the cause of death. Think the slaughter artist's knife. A knife with the letter F inscribed on it. This appears to be the weapon used to murder Dr. Wesker. It is said this knife is used by Fink the slaughter artist to prove to his clients that he killed his target. Information on Dr. Wesker. Dr. Wesker was the kind of person who would take advantage of and sacrifice others for the sake of his research. Since the cancellation of a big project 3 years ago by higher-ups, he had become a complete shut-in. He had hearing issues so severe he could be considered deaf, but he was able to read lips to communicate with others. This was why he refused to speak to Makoto since he wears a mask. Wait, he couldn't hear? So then how did he know somebody was in the room with him? That's interesting. Very interesting. I completely forgot about that whole thing of him lip reading. So he shouldn't have been able to hear anyone then. There are also rumors the Doctor was planning to flee Kano Ward, an act seen as betrayal to Amaterasu Corporation. Perhaps someone in the company found out about the plot and sent in a hitman. Saying in a minute. Since the cancellation, he had hearing issues so severe he couldn't be considered deaf, but he was able to read lips to communicate with others. Okay. Shoe print on Armor Pal's head. In the critical lab, there was a shoe print on Armor Pal's head. When Armor Pal was moved into the airlock chamber, however, there was no shoe print. That's right. I think somebody got on its head in the airlock chamber and wrote it into the room. The Doctor's notes. A notebook found on the Doctor's desk. It has diagrams of a person being splashed with sulfuric acid. Doing this would cause clothes and skin to melt, rendering the victim unrecognizable. What was the Doctor trying to do? There are canned food and bottles of water inside the lab, however not much of either remains. Vent in critical lab. There is a tiny vent in the critical lab, but the cover is fixed in place and not large enough for a person to pass through. Storage key. The storage room contains confidential documents, so the door is locked. Peacekeeper Director Yomi manages the storage room. Yomi holds one key to the storage room. There are no others. Missing file. There are mostly old research logs in the storage room managed by Peacekeeper Director Yomi, but a section of the files on the shelf is missing. Whatever he didn't want others to see has already been disposed of. Lab map. Alright. Okay. A floor plan of the lab. It was supposed to be a top secret file, but it was found hidden behind a house plant. Wait, because yeah, this... Her eyes the same? Oh, maybe not. I thought maybe she had the same kind of eyes as Vivia. A photo of a young man and woman. The woman is wearing a white lab coat. Perhaps she's a researcher at the lab. The man cannot be recognized because of the blood stain on the picture. Okay. Yako testified the hitman attacked him, which may not be true. Security power supply. The critical lab security system operates on a separate power system than what is managed in the electrical room. Right? Electrical room eyewitness. Right after the blackout, a researcher near the electrical room went inside to turn the power back on. At that time, the witness They witnessed a dark silhouette pass through the shadows. The researcher claims it must have been the hitman. Although the identity of the figure is unknown, it's certain a suspicious person was near the electrical room right after the blackout. Death threat. The death threat was sent not only to the target, Dr. Wesker, but also to the Peacekeepers and the Nocturnal Detective Agency. However, according to Vivia's investigation, there has never been a case where Fink the Slaughter Artist issued a death threat. Perhaps the current case is special. Armor Pal's design. Armor Pal can be controlled via a special tablet device. Watch the camera feed from Armor Pal's eyes and use the key buttons to control it. A mic can be used to communicate via voice. For safety, the ends of the arms are ball-shaped, but can still be used for actions such as pressing buttons. While extending or retracting an arm, the controls of the camera and body do not function. This is to prevent the arm's wires from being tangled when children handle it roughly. It has a load capacity of 100 kilograms and is durable enough to withstand most falls. The sales pitch says, withstand play with your rowdiest kids and tough enough for an elephant to stand on. Ghost form traits. As heard from Vivia, the traits of Ghost form are as follows. You cannot touch anything while using spectral projection. You cannot take over someone else's body, nor can it be heard. You cannot touch anything, you cannot take it, nor can it be heard. That's going to be important, I feel. Fubuki's Forte. Fubuki's Forte can turn back time. It was used while controlling Armor Pal. The traits of her ability are as follows. Reversing time consumes a lot of energy. If time has been turned back once, it cannot be turned back beyond that point. Okay, security log. The security log of the critical lab. Whenever the security system is turned on or off, the data is automatically recorded. Records show the security system was disabled an hour ago. It has not been turned back on since. Yuma and company used Armor Pal to disable the security. The last time it was disabled before that was 90 days ago. In other words, until Yuma and company disabled it. The security system had been running without issue for the past 90 days. The doctor's email records. The email records of Dr. Wesker and Anonymous from X5 blah blah blah. X55. To Doctor. Doctor, we have trouble. Someone has discovered our deal. We should go into hiding for the time being. Doctor, it appears it is time to call it quits. We've profited enough from this already. It's too dangerous to leak research and confidential information any longer. I shall fully withdraw from here. With this money, I will fund my new research. From such and such to Doctor, are the rumours true? You intend to leave Karnai Ward? Doctor, don't tell me you're plotting to take the research and run. I hope you already know this, but you have nowhere to go. From them to Doctor. What's the matter, Doctor? Are you ignoring me? I will not permit any betrayal. I've told you before, but you have nowhere to run. Prepare yourself. Doctor likely refers to Dr. Wesker. His correspondent is difficult to identify, since the address seems to be a random combination of characters. Dr. Wesker was communicating with a person to leak research and other confidential information. I mean, if you go X... I don't know if that can be worked out. But... Okay, so that's everything. So the only way the culprit could have been in the lab, if there was somebody that killed Dr. Wesker, and it looked like it was somebody in a lab coat, the only way that would have been possible is if... There's only two possibilities. Either they'd been in the lab with him following the last security log check, they were somehow smuggled into the lab, or I think the more likely one is that they came in on Armor Pal and they came into the room. Because I don't have enough information to piece together exactly how it all went out, but I get the feeling that somebody was hiding in the vent. When Armor Pal entered the room, they stepped on top of the robot and then wheeled it through. And they must have been aware of the fact that Fubuki was going to be able to turn back time if they got things wrong. And they must have had some kind of protection for the toxic gas in the room. And then the door was opening slowly, slow enough for them to get off the robot and into the room. And then when they came, or they waited until we entered the room, and then once we were in there, they knocked it over. But I think that's when it got knocked over, was that when we saw the doctor lying dead? So this is the problem. I don't quite know. Because then when we came running in, they could have been hiding in the vent as we went past, and then they could have just walked out. And I think they were the one that stabbed Yako. I wonder if the secret person that was talking to this guy was Yako. Chief Yako, and he's the anonymous person. Let me just check something one more time. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out more as we go. The thought that I've got right now is that Dr. Wesker is actually is the culprit here.
Say, Vivia,
he's not actually dead.
Do you remember anything about the case?
You mean Dr. Wesker's murder? Or are you talking about when Chief Yako was attacked?
Huh? You remember? Everyone else that came here lost their memories.
That's pretty rare. Must be because of his whole spiritual thing.
So the others lost their memories. That's why no one remembers this death god.
How rude of them. It's thanks to yours truly that those cases got solved.
That reminds me, I used my coalescence with Fubuki before Vivia. But Vivia is the only one who came into the Mystery Labyrinth.
Yeah, but we weren't investigating that.
I guess coalescence got overridden. Maybe it only takes the most recent ability. I don't know either.
You don't know? But coalescence is your power, Shinigami.
Relax, will ya? Minor detail.
You would have been better off with Fubuki. She would have been far more useful for this case.
Not really.
It doesn't matter anyway. No one can use their forte here.
Oh, so now I really don't have to do anything. Thank goodness. What a relief.
I do think somebody sneaked in on the robot.
You ever think your lack of motivation could be contagious?
I think somehow the doctor has faked his death.
Relax.
But then, why would there be a mystery labyrinth if he wasn't dead? But I do think the culprit came in on Armor Pal. That's my running theory so far, and they got into the lab when we went in there. I think maybe the doctor might have been hoping.
Ooh, there's that mystery!
Alright, here we go.
Huh?
Huh? Nothing.
I told you to stop surprising me like that.
I thought this labyrinth would only require your wits. But it looks like it's going to take more than that, Yuma.
Well, he doesn't have a whole lot of wits, so he doesn't have a choice.
Oh, yeah, we can't go ahead.
Huh? Why didn't a problem appear?
Not only was there no problem, no choice appeared either. Master, maybe you don't even know which mystery to start with to solve this case.
Yeah, there's so many unknowns. I'm honestly feeling lost right now.
Come on! You gotta know where to start with this stuff, or you won't be able to solve a single thing. Let's decide that for now. What's the first mystery of this case?
The first mystery is...
It's gotta be
the
having.
fact that Dr. Wesker was murdered in a completely locked room with no way in or out. The doctor was located deep in the critical lab, behind layers of security. And yet, he was found stabbed to death.
Unless, did the doctor kill himself? And then somebody else came in to get what he had? I don't know, but he doesn't seem like the type.
We were the first to discover the body. At the time, we were controlling the robot, Amapel. Because of that, we were thought to be the culprits, but we obviously aren't. So how did the culprit get in and out of the doctor's lab? That's what I don't know.
But the culprit is definitely the hitman, right?
I think so, but I'm not absolutely sure. Besides, even if the hitman did it, there's the question of who hired him. But there's no doubt the hitman stabbed Chief Yako. That's the only thing I'm absolutely certain about.
Peacekeepers?
Kanai Ward's garbage.
Here we go.
What are you doing here?
Yomi Hell's Smile.
So the director of the Peacekeepers is here.
Yeah, but he's just part of the Mystery Labyrinth.
I figured. In other words, he's a monster created from the labyrinth, right?
Right.
You pieces of shit.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's see it. Oh my god, yes. I love it. This is like, oh, this is director of the Peacekeepers like material.
You're disturbing the peace of Kanai Ward.
This guy doesn't seem like an easy opponent.
What's with the bendy sword though? Flagellating.
But we have no choice. For Chief Yako, for everyone.
You killed Dr. Weska, didn't you? Turn yourselves in so I can torture you to death!
Oh, okay, it's one of those swords. Alright, let's do it. Oh, hell yeah. Although I must admit, it would have been... Oh, toxic...
You're the ones who killed Dr. Weska. You disarmed the security system to the doctor's lab. And then murdered him inside. Until you actually entered the lab, the security system for the critical lab stayed active. It's impossible to bypass the system while it's active. In other words, no one can enter the doctor's lab. There couldn't be an intruder.
Wait.
Which makes
what?
you the culprit.
Hang on a minute.
Right.
No, there was. It would have been pretty... I thought I hit that. It would have been pretty tough to get through the security system at the critical lab. But the doctor died before we got inside, which means there had to have been an intruder. Anyway, let's take another look at the solution keys to see if any evidence stands out. I feel like it's this
You're the
one.
ones who killed Dr. Weska. You disarmed the security system to the doctor's lab.
Yes, we did that.
And then murdered him inside. Until you actually entered the lab, the security system for the critical lab stayed active. It's impossible to bypass the system while it's active. In other words, no one can enter the doctor's lab. There couldn't be an intruder.
Yes, there is. Yeah, sorry, I pressed the wrong button before, I think. Or I must have just missed it. No, there was a shoe print on Amapal's head.
When the body was first discovered, Amapal was about to enter the doctor's lab. But something bumped into it and knocked it over. In fact, there was a mark on Amapal's head, like someone kicked it. That mark wasn't there when we borrowed it. It's proof that someone else was in the lab.
You call that evidence?
Oh, yes, that's it,
Is
Yumi.
bullshit the only thing that comes out of that mouth?
I don't know, it's better than what comes out of your mouth, asshole.
Don't make me laugh. Shit! There was an intruder? That's impossible! And in fact, you proved that yourself!
That claim doesn't hold up!
No. Yeah, it doesn't hold up. You idiot. What did we just say?
What do you mean? We proved there wasn't an intruder!
You still don't understand? Don't make me laugh. If there was another intruder,
I think it's got to be this one.
then where did they go? By the time you arrived at the scene,
Oh, God.
there was no one else, right? There's no place to hide in the critical room.
No, there is, in the vent. God, Yomi.
There's a hiding spot. It's inside the airlock's decontamination device.
You piece of
The vent cover can be easily removed, and there's just enough space for someone to fit inside. If they hid inside the decontamination device, we wouldn't have seen them when we arrived at the scene.
So what? You've got it all wrong anyway. Everything is wrong. Your existence is all wrong. Have fun chasing that fake truth you found.
Oh, okay. He gave up. What's that? What did he mean by that? Your fake existence is wrong. Okay, good.
We managed to defeat him this time, but it's not over yet.
He sure is persistent, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's no doubt someone else was inside the doctor's lab. So let's unravel each mystery one at a time.
All right, we'll get it this time.
Was there an intruder? Yes.
Come on, why does it have to be so sudden?
It's better to be sudden, Yuma.
Okay, now that we've wedged our way into this mystery, we just gotta head through the labyrinth and reach the truth!
Well, it has to be yes. Huh? You better not say you don't know which to pick. Alright, it's gotta be yes.
Right here!
Right now! I mean, I figured it must be, like, because it'd have to be Dr. Wesker had
We're
died.
just now getting to the point. What a pain.
Hey, don't sigh, this is a good thing!
Sorry.
Anyway, let's head inside.
Let us head inside the Mystery Labyrinth.
There was an
Ooh.
intruder for sure! We know someone bumped into Amapal.
Bumped into the other
The culprit probably hit Amapel on their way out. After that, they must have intended to leave the lab. But they couldn't because we were in the front chamber. So they hid inside the decontamination device to avoid us.
So, if you checked inside the decontamination device on the way to the scene, you would have caught the culprit then and there.
Yeah, but it was an emergency and we had no idea they were in there.
It's super lame to make up excuses, Master!
No, but I mean, what else was he supposed to
It's
do?
not an excuse, but it is true. If I had thought about why Amapal was knocked over at that time, I would have realized the culprit was in there. We could have waited in ambush or searched for them. And if I'd caught the culprit then, Chief Yako wouldn't have gotten stabbed.
Master, wallowing in regret is even lamer. If you have time for that, you have time to keep going.
Right.
The question I'm trying to think is, like, I still wonder about Amapal, that little interference that happened at the very beginning. Unless Amapal had been hacked or something and we couldn't see the culprit, but I still stand by that. I don't know how, like, they got in when we went in, but again, it doesn't make sense.
Really? Another fork in the path.
Alright, let's have a look. How did the culprit enter the lab? It's got to be when we
We're
open
finally at
it.
the central question.
Okay.
This is the first step to solving how the culprit committed an impossible murder.
I leave the rest to you. I'm going to read a book or something.
You can bring your own stuff into the Mystery Labyrinth?
He's just special.
How did the culprit enter the lab? Well, it definitely was a security. Is it they never entered in the first place, or they were invited in by the doctor? No, it has to be they never entered in the first place. It's got to be this one, right? Right now. Because the security log proves that they weren't invited
The culprit
in.
never entered? But you said there's no doubt the culprit was in there.
Perhaps the intruder is not the culprit after all.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the doctor committed suicide? If the doctor committed suicide, then the culprit wasn't the intruder, but the doctor himself.
But if the doctor did it, there would be no intruder. The doctor was already in the lab.
But the security log would have showed it.
Guess you were wrong, Yuma. Well, I already knew that before you entered.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
You wanted me to tell you? Should have said so earlier. People only grow by learning from past mistakes, which is why I purposely...
No, hang on a minute. This has to be right.
We have to get out of here!
How do we get out?
Use logic to show how this route is the wrong one!
All right, I'll try.
Did she say is or isn't the wrong one? Since the cancellation of it. So is it this one or this one? Oh, okay, so he did enter. Okay.
That's right. The doctor was stabbed 3 times in the back. One stab would have indicated that he held the knife in place, then fell on it to kill himself. But he couldn't have made 3 wounds like that. There's no way it was a suicide.
But again, the security log shows that he never ends. Oh, wait. No, but
Well, I may have messed up, but at least we got a little closer to the truth.
oh, wait, is that why the power was cut? So that we couldn't see that it must have been then that the doctor
Maybe,
invited
but
them
if you
in.
hadn't messed up in the first place, you wouldn't have to come up with such a lame excuse.
I know. I'll do better next time.
Is that why the freaking power was cut so that there would be no security log? But I thought it said that whole thing was on a separate system. Yeah, it has to be deactivated security by cutting the power then. Right? Because I don't think he would have invited them in. The security log would have shown that.
The culprit
is this the
used
wrong one again?
blackout to slip past security and into the lab. That answer is pretty simple. Almost too simple.
Oh, is it wrong again? Looks like it's wrong again.
This route is wrong too? Again?
No need to worry, Yuma. I don't
Choose
mind
logic.
it at all if we can't find a way to move forward.
I get to die.
Sheesh. Even I'm losing motivation. You can take care of this on your own, can't you, Master?
Oh god, Shinigami.
influence you!
Okay, yeah. This is in the data's on. It's got to be this one. Or are all of them going to be like this?
The doctor said the critical lab was on a separate grid, and the lab switchboard wasn't in the electrical room. The security wouldn't shut off, even if there was a blackout in the building.
Right, that's what I thought initially too. So I wonder then if the other choice is wrong too, because he was a shut-in and he was worried about somebody...
No excuses, Master. Do it again.
You're tired, Yuma. Why don't you lie down for a bit?
Why don't you rest your head right here in my bosom?
Resting here wouldn't help me at all.
Okay, I wonder then if the other door is wrong too, because all these answers feel wrong. Because there's no way the doctor invited him in, because the security log would have shown it. So all of these answers have got to be wrong, because I don't think this one's going to be right.
Right here!
I am Mr. Fruit Face! Yeah, it's not this one either.
The doctor invited the culprit in? But why?
But why?
Things are so muddled now because we're assuming the culprit forced their way inside. If the culprit was invited to the lab, then he easily would have been able to enter.
Ah, so you think the doctor disabled the security? He wouldn't need it if he was expecting a guest.
No, but he didn't. It's wrong again.
Huh? What? This was the last route!
This labyrinth is a tricky one. It's like one of those old detective novels. Perhaps you're the real culprit, Yuma.
Really, Master?
Of course not!
He would have died trying to get in there.
Focus! We need to get out of here!
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a security log. That's why I thought it couldn't have been that in the first place anyway.
The log on
Unless...
the doctor's computer didn't show any signs of security getting shut down. If that's the case, he certainly didn't cut security just to let someone in.
Yeah. Unless, you know, he switched places with somebody, unless he'd been dead for 90 days.
What's going on? Were all three routes wrong?
I wonder what it means.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, because I was sitting there going, none of these things sound plausible. I mean, the middle one sounded the most plausible, because I knew the other two had evidence, so I thought it must have been that, but apparently not. Unless he came in 90 days before, during the culprit was in there with him already. But then the guy was saying that the doctor had told him to check everything so carefully. Oh, there's another door.
Hey, there's another door!
I get it! Since we proved that every possibility was wrong, a new one has appeared!
Interesting. The Mystery Labyrinth not only materializes the case, but also changes based on your investigation.
How very quaint.
Right. Something felt off about those other routes. It's almost like we were forced to choose the wrong way.
Yeah.
But by eliminating each wrong answer one by one, you opened the path to the right answer.
So I wonder if that's what it is then, because it was either they'd already been inside the lab when it opened up last time, or they came in when Armor Pal opened the door for them.
You sound disappointed.
And they somehow knew about Fubuki's forte.
Who cares? Let's just see what's in the final route!
Alright. Entered and killed via
They used
spectral...
spectral projection to enter and kill him?
No, they couldn't have.
Then, the culprit...
No.
I can't believe the culprit entered the labyrinth with us. That's never happened before.
It couldn't have been
Dare
Vivia.
you trick me?
No, it wasn't Vivia.
There is no escape! Once the Mystery Labyrinth is solved, the culprit will be judged! Master, let's finish up this Mystery Labyrinth and boom kill this dude!
It's not Vivia.
Hold on!
No, it's definitely not Vivia. I love how he's Naruto running. He's like, oh, yeah, I gotta run. No, we'll close. There's evidence.
Another trap?
Yeah, there's
That's why I
evidence.
said to wait. There's no way Vivi is the culprit.
Yeah, don't you?
Prove it and beat this thing! I won't be convinced until you do!
Yeah, ghost form traits. Well, I'm glad that's why we had that, because initially I was worried.
To begin with, nothing can be touched while in ghost form. He
Yeah.
couldn't have held the murder weapon, the knife. So it's not possible that he stabbed the doctor. Now do you trust Vivia?
Master, I've said this 1,000 times, but a detective must suspect everything.
Oh, come on, you already knew that shit, Agabi.
Besides, it's his fault for being so sketchy. The way he looks, how he talks, everything is super suspicious.
Sorry. I do try to stay out of sight.
Let me just die now.
Anyway, let's go back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that can't be it. Is the other one gonna be about Fubuki's forte then?
If he's not the culprit, then we're back to square one.
And with that, I think we will continue on the next chapter. So when we come back, hopefully we'll figure out how the culprit was able to get into the room, because I still stand by that they came in on Armor Pal. I just don't know how they did everything else, but the fact that the doctor turned around and was acting like he heard something, to me suggests that he was faking it. Maybe he was expecting somebody to come in, or that he snuck out and left somebody else's body there. But anyway, we'll work that out on the next chapter. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.